We're good to go. Hello, can everyone hear me? Can everyone understand my English? Yes? We're still, no? Okay, I'll slow it down a little bit. I get excited when I talk about pedestals. I can see all the excited faces in the crowd to learn about it. So what we're doing here is we are showing the LATICRETE NXT Pedestal System that has been launched at the show and is available on the 15th of May. So, in a nutshell, we're from Australia. We were contractors that developed the system after being sick of everything else that was in the market that was causing us frustration and issues. So we designed a 3-SKU system that has 2 pedestals and an extension. So the first one is the NXT Mini. This one pedestal is fully adjustable from 3/4 of an inch to 1 3/4 inches. The next pedestal we have is the NXT Max. This one is going to do 90% of your installations. This one pedestal is fully adjustable from 1 3/4 inches to 5 3/4 inches. When you need to go higher than 5 3/4 inches, you simply remove the base from the pedestal body. You grab a 4-inch extender, clips back in. This pedestal now goes to 9 3/4 inches. When you need to go higher than 9 3/4 inches, you continue to add 4-inch extenders and keep going up. So we have a fully tested system by a NATA certified laboratory to 2,500 pounds at 42 inches high. So between these 3 products, our NXT Mini, NXT Max and NXT Extender, we've got a full system to 42 inches. When you have the Max pedestal, there's also a blue plug in here. Out of the box, it comes in the orientation of fixed head position, so that does not move. When you remove the blue plug in the center, it'll switch the fixed head to a self-leveling position. So you've got that to adjust for slope and pitch onto a deck area. If we put that back in place, we can reinsert that. Your 5/32 spacer tab is also included in the box. It is not a separate item. So that goes there. What we've got is these. So the self-correcting head will adjust up to 5%. You can also get these slope correctors. They're sort of in a cheese wedge and they're stackable. So for this example, we'll use 4, so I can show you exactly how that works. So we just put them together, they locate. Like so. And then they just go onto the base like Lego. And so now what you'll be able to see there is that if the concrete's falling that way, it'll level. So do you want to start setting up an area? We also have rubber shims. So these can be used to pick up any inconsistencies in the material that you're laying on top. So if you're using 24-inch 2cm, and sometimes you're adjusting your pedestal and you just can't get one corner right and it's rocking a little bit, you can use this on top. You can use it like that. You can use it in half. You can use it in quarters. You can tear it off. So they just rip apart like so. You can use it just like that. You can double stack them. And then that way that'll pick up anything that's not consistent and avoids the rocking. We also have these PE base foam protection pads. So you can use these, same again, straight under the base of the pedestal. They're a peel and stick, straight under there. So if you've got any concerns about the pedestal affecting a membrane system that's on your deck, you can put that on there and that'll sit on there just like that. So nice and easy and straightforward. Now wind uplift is becoming a big problem. Miami-Dade and wind getting up there and vortexing pedestals and pavers where they'll lift off the deck and cause an issue. So what we have is a Concealed Wind Uplift Plate. This replaces the 5/32 spacer tab. It goes onto your pedestal head and just locks into position. Now what you can do with this is that goes in, you use your LATICRETE 310 and you glue onto the top of this in straight lines. Set your tile and away you go. So then what it does is it locks everything together, and that's been tested in the NATA certified laboratory to 220 kilometre wind speed, which is about 165 mile per hour, category 2. Now once all your tiles are laid, and you think, okay, well that's all been glued together, this has a screw in the centre. So you can put your screwdriver down the centre of 4 tiles, undo this screw, the cleat will come out in the center, and each quarter is independent. So these are all on each tile. So that tile can be lifted out to service a drain, to get to a davit plate, so if you need to abseil off the building, to clean windows or anything like that, and then it can be put back in place. Put your cleat back on and put your screw in, and it's just like it was when you started. The other thing we've got, because we're contractors and we know what it's like to lay these things, is using it by hand is very efficient. We also have accessories. So we have a key system, if people are used to that, where it goes into a provision in the pedestal head. You can see 4 ridges there, straight in, and when you've got your all 4 tiles laid, you can give it half a turn, quarter of a turn, and adjust it, or you can go the opposite direction. So you don't have to lift up anything to adjust your tiles after the fact. Now when you've got thousands of these to unscrew, and you've got 4 inches in this one pedestal to do, you can grab yourself the same accessory, put it onto your drill on a low clutch setting or an electric screwdriver, goes into the same provision, and you can very quickly adjust the pedestal up or down. It's that simple. That's pretty much everything we've got. I don't really have a half an hour presentation because it's that easy to use. So if anyone's got questions, he's laying one over there and he's showing an example of how you can quickly lay it. So what we like to use is a 2-foot level, and you lay as you go. So once you've got that first tile set, it's pretty simple to continue laying the next one because that'll go in level. Those 2 pedestals are level. So the next one you lay, place your 2 pedestals, adjust it by hand, and keep leveling. You don't need to set up a laser and lay these pedestals, 3,000 at a time, and then go around laying them. 2-foot level, you'll be able to keep going, as you can see right here. You need another one? So we don't have a big impressive 300-page catalogue. I can give you all the information on one page. So our mantra is less is more. We've simplified a very complicated process, and we only did it for our own consumption to win more work and make our job easier, because every job we were finding, to go from 3 inches on one end to 5 inches on the other, we needed 3 different size pedestals. If you've ever been on your hands and knees like we were, we had 110 installers, and managing them was very, very difficult. We've seen them double stack pedestals when they didn't go high enough, and then what it caused was an issue in the industry called tile stacking, where the tiler, if the pedestal only went to 3 inches and needed to go to another inch, would grab an off-cutter tile and jam it underneath. Out of sight, out of mind. 2 years later, the owners of the company are back there fixing a waterproofing leak at our expense. So we designed a system that avoids and eliminates all of those issues. So it's simple to use, it's cost effective, and it's probably the best performing pedestal system out there. Questions? Questions? Yeah, so the pedestal system itself will perform. It depends on, you've got to go back to your tile manufacturer to make sure it's fit for purpose for an elevated system. So if you're using what we've got here, a 24 by 24 inch 2cm tile, the placement is on the corners. If you're using a 24 by 48 inch tile, the placement of pedestals would still be the same, and that's my recommendation as a tiling setter, as a tile setter. Because what you want to do is, you wouldn't want to span them any more than 24 inches apart. When they get that far apart, the pedestal will take it. We can set it 3 feet apart, no big deal, 4 feet. But you want to make sure that the tile is supported, because that's a very big span unsupported. Yeah. The
maximum unsupported.
Well, that comes down to the tile, to the material you put on there. So the pedestal can take it. It can take 2,500 pounds. I can put it from there to down there. It's what the tile can take. So the manufacturer of the tile would have to tell you that. Yeah. Any other questions? You've got to give me something. At least ask me if I've got a kangaroo. Something. I get that a lot. 3. So 3 products to complete the whole system. So it makes it easy to estimate, because one time we had a job where we had to price it a year before the fact. We win the job, we priced it with a pedestal that went up to 3 inches. When we got to the job, instead of sitting under the subsill, I had to sit level with it. We had to go up another 3/4 of an inch, which means we had to go up in a pedestal size, which was $2 extra for that bigger size. Now that $2 on 8,000 pedestals, the day I started that job cost me $16,000 in a loss. That's what this avoids. That's why we went to this system. All good? The edge face? Yeah, so there's a few different systems we can do to treat the edges. So the most popular one is a coping tile. So you know, like a swimming pool tile, 90-degree edge. So we've got that. You make that up, and they can be lat epoxied in with 310 to make up that coping tile. We've also got a plate that can go on top of the pedestal, and that's got a drop face on it, and you can laminate a tile to that also. Yeah. Cool. So a good rule of thumb is to work on half a pedestal per square foot. So if you've got 2,000 square feet, you need 1,000 pedestals using 2 cm 24-inch tile. That's probably a general rule of thumb. That's a close estimation. Depending on the area size, whether the balconies are smaller, they're going to use more pedestals. If they're angular, they're going to use more than that. If they're large open areas, like you've got a 2,000 square meter deck, then you're going to use less. Great question. I think we've covered it. Yeah. All good? Wonderful.